back to episode 3 of the beginner trading course. In this, we're going to be covering support and resistance. By now, you should have gone over how to read a candlestick and market trends. So, getting into episode 3 here, we're going to go over basically the first part of our setup for our actual strategy that we use to trade every single day. All right, getting into this real quick, we're going to take a look at what is support and resistance, right? So basically, support and resistance, they're practically the same thing. The support line is going to be this bottom line down here where price comes down and rejects off of and has a tendency to keep rejecting off of this area, right? And the resistance is basically the same thing as the support, just on the top side here, basically where price comes up and likes to keep rejecting off of. You see, with these wicks, we should be able to read these candles again pretty easily by now because of episode 1, but it'll come up here and it'll keep rejecting off this same spot, right? So looking over here at the charts, we're going to basically try to find two different things here. We're going to try to find the support and resistance zones along with the breakout zones that we use. We do like to teach it, a little bit differently just because of the fact it's called support and resistance zones, and a lot of people think, this could just be your support line, right? But it's not. The whole area is a zone, okay? So looking at this, this would simulate kind of right when market would open on the 5-minute time frame. And then right now we would just be looking at, for some support and resistance zones, okay? So basically the way I like to do this is clicking on this little brush over here, moving over, going to the rectangle. And what this rectangle basically allows you to do is just its name just lets you draw a rectangle on the chart, okay? You should be using all of these things to your advantage when using TradingView, okay? So if we're looking at this and we're looking at areas where price rejects off of the most as a support zone, I would automatically go down to here to these lows, right? And even this area. So instead of just drawing a line like this, that's not great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our rectangle and we're gonna mark out this whole area as a support zone. All right. I made my rectangle purple just so it'll stand out for you guys a little bit better. And then we'll be taking a look at what our resistance zone is, where price is rejecting off the most. Right away when I look at it, I see this area here. It carries over to the same area just a little bit later down the road, and then even over here a little bit. So when we mark this area up, we can even just do a little bit of this and mark out that this is our resistance zone, the area where price is having a hard time continuing to go up. Now if we scroll over here, right, we can see that a lot of the times our support and resistance zones line up with the same areas, and a lot of the times previous support is new resistance, and that's how it's a very good resistance zone and a good support zone, for a matter of fact, right? So within these support and resistance zones, now we're going to be working towards finding our breakout lines, because that's what we do. We trade breakouts. All right, so basically what a breakout line is exactly what the name suggests. Is once price pushes through this certain area, it's a breakout, which we'll be getting into here in a couple episodes. But once price pushes past this point, this is when we would enter the trade. We have to figure out how to find that point on the chart, okay? So basically what we're looking for here is just within our support and our resistance zones, what makes the most sense. If price has come down here and wicked out this area, part of this third candle here, does it make sense that price would continue to push down here just at once and then keep going? Or would it make more sense for it to push down here and possibly wick out this area again? From market experience and everything, that tends to happen a lot. That's why a lot of people like to target the bodies of the candles. Sometimes in certain situations it is better to target, you know, the wicks, waiting for it to push past certain wicks, because that's going to prove that price is going to continue to go lower or continue to go higher. Sorry for the interruption here real quick, but when editing this video I realized part of this got cut out. But basically what I was explaining right here, you know, during the video, is the line that I have marked up on my screen right now, which you can see again in a minute. A lot of people would think, like, put as their breakout zone. The reason this isn't a good breakout zone is because of the fact that it hasn't pushed through the resistance yet. Yes, there was a lot of touches, and you know that's what you want for a good breakout area, but price hasn't proved that it will push past this, you know, this resistance zone, and that's what you need in order to be confident in your breakout, right? There's no reason you should have a breakout before your resistance zone or before your support zone, because price hasn't proven that it wants to continue to go through the zone. To wait for it to clear this entire wick here. In order to get in this late though, we would need a couple different confluences to make sure that price is still going to be pushing up, which again we can talk about in our breakout video in a couple episodes. But just for right now, basically you want touches on these zones. So the same thing as your support and resistance with the breakout lines, you just want to see where price is going up to and then, you know, rejecting off of almost. But the way that this works is, you know, when price comes up here and it tends to reject off of, if it's pushing up through this zone and clears some of the highs in this little time frame, it's more than likely going to go up, and that's basically how we trade. Again, we'll break down a couple different things, a couple different confluences, how breakouts work in a couple episodes, but for right now we're just going to go down and also find our support breakout, so where we would enter in sells. All right, so when I'm looking at this right now, I would probably mark this up just at the bottom of these bodies, right? Even though I'm marking it up at the bottom of these bodies, more than likely, you know, if there's a strong push, I would like to enter probably here. But again, you can't just take this information and run with it, because if this is the 925 candle and you're pushing down here, market opens and you're just pushing straight down within the first 30 seconds of market open, and you think within that first 30 seconds that it's not going to reject to the upside and you're going to get stopped out, there's a little bit more learning you have to do, a little bit more market experience that you're going to need to, you know, develop, which is obviously completely okay. It's why this is a beginner course, and it's why in these early episodes we're just, you know, looking for these simple areas of, you know, for breakouts, right? Some more advanced things that we're going to be going over too is how to get earlier entries, how to get better entries. But sometimes you could even take areas like this. You could see, you know, these are still some decent support areas, but because price is right here, it's not the best idea. And this is just like the basic overview of support and resistance. Obviously, we're going to have to go into a little more depth in some later episodes, so you have the confidence to enter in these trades like we do every single day. All right. I hope you guys found this video, you know, informational. If you have any questions, you can drop them down in the comments. You can also join our Discord. We're always available there. You know, just send us a quick message. We'll always get back to you. If not, just keep looking out for our next videos within the series.